This question comes to us from Alex, and he wants to know, so what causes cross the line? Now, I've watched him with lessons before, so I kind of know where his thing's coming from, but there's a couple of things that can cause your club to go across the line. And what does across the line mean? Well, there's my target line right there. When you get to the top of your swing, you want the club shaft to be parallel to that line. And if it's aimed over this way, now it's across that line. So that's what they call across the line. And if it goes the other way, they call that laid off. So what tends to cause across the line? One of the biggest reasons for most people is they take the club way too much to the inside. So the club's going this way and it can't keep going that way. So what happens is once it goes here, then they lift, and as they lift it up, the club goes this way and it ends up going across the line. Now, the other thing that causes it is, and it's a lot of this same motion, is your right arm is working this way. So what happens is my right arm goes like this, so my right arm isn't rotating in my shoulder socket. And if my right arm doesn't rotate when I go up, the club's going to go across the line. So if my right arm, if I go back, my right hand's here, if I go up to the top and my right arm from here, as it swings up, if my right arm rotates in my shoulder socket, where's the club going to go? Now, if my right arm stops rotating and it goes up, where does the club go? Across the line. So one is taking the club too much to the inside and it lifts. The other is your right arm in your shoulder socket. If you tighten up in your shoulder sockets and your arm can't rotate, most people end up going this way. So as I go back, my wrist is working this way and my right arm rotates in my shoulder socket. This is where the rotation in your arm comes from. Everybody thinks it's forearm rotation. No, 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 no. You want minimal forearm rotation. This is your ball and socket joint. This elbow and this wrist can rotate, but these aren't ball and socket joints, they're hinge joints. So this is where your arm is rotating from, both on your backswing and on your follow through. So when people get it across the line, this arm doesn't rotate on the backswing, and when they get a chicken wing going over here, it's because this arm doesn't rotate in their shoulder socket over here. It starts going this way. So one is they take it inside and go here. The other is their right arm quits rotating, and so it gets across the line. Now the other, which I see a lot, if your shoulder turn doesn't turn on your spine angle. So if I turn my shoulders a little flat, okay, the club looks like it's across the line. Now if I all of a sudden take my shoulders and I steepen my shoulders, all of a sudden the club goes from being across the line to being on line. So what I see with a lot of players, because they set up to the ball, and when they take the club away, their shoulders turn too flat. So their arms go around them too much, and the club ends up looking like it's across the line. But as soon as I steepen my shoulders and get them back here, now all of a sudden the club's where it's supposed to be. So your shoulders need to work at a 90-degree angle to your spine angle. Now here's what's interesting with golf. For those of you who, I'm going to give you a little out. Here's how your brain works. Your vestibular system, which is your balance, looks at the horizon. And there's like a float in your ear, in your inner ear, that determines whether you're on balance or not. Now we're used to looking at things in this here. So here's balance. So here's where your eyes are. Now all of a sudden we do this. Well, now what your brain's trying to do is it's trying to get you back to what it knows as balance, which it's not this. It's trying to do this to you because it wants to work this way relative to the horizon, because that's how the balance in your ear works. So one of the reasons golf's tough is you get over the ball, when you start the club back, your body doesn't want to necessarily do this. It wants to turn like this. That's one of the reasons why baseball and tennis are a little easier to do, is because your inner ear isn't fighting you being what perceives to be a little off balance. That's why it takes some training to turn on that, because it's not that you physically can't do it, it's that your inner ear and your brain and your balance is going, whoa, 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 wait a minute, this feels a little strange here. We're tilted and doing all this. So give yourself a little break on that. But that's, the cross the line comes from usually one of those. Most likely it's the club going too much in here and then it lifts. That's the first, most that I see. You know, the next one is way too tight, so this arm doesn't rotate. So it gets here, and this is so tight that then it goes the path of least resistance, so it goes up. The last one is how the angle that your shoulders turn on. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for regular updates and tips. Thanks for watching.